Hey, welcome back, coaches, athletes, and sports fans. Coach Michael Fields here. Still continuing the series here on scaling your program or building your program, I should say, from the youth levels to the middle school to the high school. Again, if you want to catch me, Coach Michael Fields on Instagram, Michael K. Fields on Twitter, and Coach Michael Fields at gmail.com. Also, like this, subscribe, share, would appreciate it. Just trying to help out other coaches and athletes and sports fans, parents, anybody involved with sports, help you get better. So this episode, we're going to talk about scaling drills and really kind of how we can work drills to kind of build that scaffold, right? So we got the foundation, then we're building the frame, and then we're ready to compete when we get up to the high school level. Um, so one thing to keep in mind, just kind of philosophically, is that at the youth level, we are building those basic skills. You know, for the game of football, we are building the basic idea of a stance, how to fire out, how to block properly, how to throw the ball, how to catch the ball, how to hand off, how to tackle. Okay, so we're just building skills, and we should be focused on fundamentals. And this translates across sports. You know, same with baseball, same with fast pitch softball. You know, you got to learn to hit, how to take grounders, how to catch a fly ball, how to throw, good throwing mechanics. We don't hurt our shoulders or our elbows. Basketball, same thing. We gotta learn to dribble, gotta learn to pass, gotta learn to defend, and of course how to shoot, right? So this kind of really is applicable to all sports, but today I'm going to focus really on football still. Youth sports, probably lots of reps, and by lots of reps, I don't mean we're going to do the same thing 1,000 times because kids are going to get bored. Okay, so when we're talking youth program, we're talking football, we're probably only going to spend maybe 5, 7 minutes on a drill, and that's only if we have a lot of kids. If we have just 4 or 5 kids in a drill, 2 or 3 minutes on one drill, they're going to get bored. Attention span of children not very long, so we got to move. We got to keep moving. We got to keep moving. Keep the young athletes as busy as you can at all times. No downtime. Okay, and I say quick pace. Rep the drill, rep the drill. Correct them. Make sure they're doing it right, so that we're teaching them the right way still. We want to do a lot of reps of a lot of things and move at a pretty quick pace. For example, when I was doing flag football K-12, and we only had 12 kids on a team because you play with 6 or 7 at a time maybe. We'd break them in 2 to 3 groups still, and one group's throwing and catching passes, one group's working on handing the ball off or tossing the ball, and one group's working on pulling flags. Just and then boom, we just rotate them around and switch up the drill a little bit, rotate them again. Just lots of small groups, lots of reps, short period of time per station. Okay, doesn't mean we're not focusing on skills for a long time. We're going to build that skill that we're working on and kind of hit it in a couple different ways, a couple different stations, or different activities, different drills. And also remember, at youth, have fun. Right? Play some games instead of traditional conditioning, running sprints, running lines, running bases, whatever it may be. Build in games for that conditioning piece. So that way they're having fun, and and I always like to end practice with that game or that fun thing so that the kids are leaving fun and energized to come back. When we get to middle school, now we start building some game IQ. And you can do this in youth. With football, if I had a fifth, sixth grader who was pretty advanced when we had fourth, fifth, and sixth graders, when we went to just fifth and sixth graders, you start kind of throwing those little things out there. Start talking about, oh, this play builds for this play, so we got to run this really well so we can run that next play. We're still going to do fundamentals. Now we might spend more time at that drill instead of 3 or 4 minutes, 5, 6 minutes. We might go 5, 6, 8, 10 minutes on a drill and really slow it down, because now we're starting to want to master that skill set, perfect it a little bit, because again, middle school, we're getting them ready for high school, right? So we're going to spend more time on that. For example, we use tackling, and when we get to high school, then I'll come back to using tackling drills and that progression as how we progress through that. So once we get to high school, now we're competing, right? So we've added some game IQ when we're at middle school. So in middle school, we're truly, hey, this play sets up that play. We got to block this play like this. If we're pulling this guard, we're trying to get linebackers to look and how they react. We might motion a guy across in middle school just to see what the defense is going to do. I might blitz a guy, I might show a blitz and back out, whatever that might be. We're building that game IQ. And even in drills, you start to explain, okay, we run this drill because it equates to this on a field when we're playing in a game. This is the game situation we're simulating, so the kids can start to see I'm not just doing a drill for the sake of running a drill. I'm doing this drill because it's going to help me be a better offensive lineman, a better quarterback, a better receiver, a better running back, a better defensive lineman, etc. So that way they can start to see this equates to in-game activity. We get to high school, we're competing, right? From everything from playing time to positions to winning games. We still want to teach all those other skills. We're going to do more time really wanting to win our position, win the battle against the guy across from me in games, and win games. Okay, so it's kind of that philosophical how we're scaffolding the skills from youth. Lots of reps, meaning short times, lots of drills. Now we're going to slow it down, get that game IQ, start to show the strategy of why we do things. And then when we get to high school, it's to compete, right? And this is kind of where we're stopping. And for some kids at the high school level, maybe they have desires to play beyond high school. So we're trying to coach them up even a little bit more, right? We're getting more technical with things. When we're doing offensive line work, we'll talk about, blocking by hitting the hip and, shoulder with the other hand and getting a guy turned and why we have to do that and how that technique matters, how to really pop the hips in order to get that tackle made, okay? So we're just doing that, all right? So just kind of philosophical. Now let's look a little bit here at kind of how to scale a couple drills. So this one I've done a version of this since I started coaching a long time ago, and it's a pursuit angle drill, okay? So one way, I actually talked to our local university head coach for football. He used to run this to warm up his defensive practices. I scaled it down to youth. It's used at the high school, versions of it are used in middle school, and everybody's got a version of what we call pursuit angle. So, at the high school level, we're working defense here. Now, at the high school level, we're going to have our nose, our tackle, our two ends. We're going to have our Mike, our Sam, our Will, corners. We're going to have a free, we're going to have strong. And on a pursuit angle here, one thing we do is we're a gap team, so we simulate a snap. They get to their gaps, and then we might have a guy over here. And we call him a rabbit, where he runs down the field. And coach here, we snap the ball and we give him a direction. We have a guy over here, kind of same thing. And this guy is going to run. If I point this way, I stand, I point that way. This guy's going to start jogging, and all these guys got to pursue at the right angle to catch him, right? So that's pursuit angle drill. One thing I've done with the kids, with the youth level, kind of break this down, because you don't really know if a kid's a defensive tackle or a linebacker or a corner when he gets to high school. When he's a 10, 11, 12-year-old kid, he might be playing offensive guard, and by high school he's your star running back, or he might be a running back that grows and he's 6'5", 300 pounds. By his junior year, he's an offensive tackle now. So we just kind of do it with spots. Okay, so I usually make kind of like a 5 you would see on a dice or something, right? And then here, if you can, you might put a coach here with a shield. You might have the pop-up, those self-standing dummies that, the kind of weighted things. And so these guys, typically, if they're playing D-line, I put them here. Linebackers, DBs can rotate in these 3 spots. I've even done this indoor with high school kids. And then behind this, you're going to put another coach with a bag. So I'm not very good at drawing here, but you get the idea. Maybe a coach with a bag, a tackling bag. And then over here, we're going to put 3 more of those. We're going to put 1 more here. And these are usually players over here. And maybe players here, especially if you're in middle or high school. And now we're just going to give them a call, set, go. And then these guys with the bags are going to move this direction. So these D linemen, all 4 of them got to hit the ground, kind of do an up, down. Then the D linemen fight through this, and then they get that angle, fight through that, get an angle. Their knees start moving downfield. And then these guys got to pick an angle, right? This guy should be one of the first ones here, so he's probably going to take this one. This guy's your last chance, he's getting this one. This guy's here, and they're going to wrap up. They're going to hit that bag and drive for 5 so we can finish that. So that's kind of a one drill scaled down. I mentioned earlier in the video using tackling as a model of those various ways. When we install our tackling system at the youth level, first night, we're working on stance. We're going feet, squeeze, hands, sink, all that, working that. Then we'll get into a swoop drill, right, where we're swooping across the bag. And then we might get to, the shooting the uppercuts with a bag or with a ball or something. Next day, we're going to start and we're going to review all 3 of those drills, and then we're going to do the uppercuts where we're on our feet, or on our knees and our feet, and we shoot them and we land on a bag. Okay, middle school, that's probably one night, whereas at the youth level, that's 2 days. And then we're going to build to where we tackle a bag at the youth level. And then we might be 4 days in before we ever tackle a person, and even then it's stationary. Whereas at the middle school, probably day 2, we're taking a person down instead of just a bag. Whereas at the high school level, day 2, day 3, we're going live, full speed, right? So that's just that different scaling of building that foundation at one level, then moving up the middle school, then getting to the full speed a little quicker at the high school level. And again, depending on how your summer programming goes, you might install that stuff a little different, but that's just one way that's worked for me over the years. Hopefully I can share it with you, and it can help you out as a coach, as an athlete. You can understand, as a parent, you can understand how we build things in sports. So thank you, and if you like these, please like, subscribe, and share. And you can always follow me, get a hold of me up here with contact information. Thank you.